I'm a man who knows addiction. And I'm a man who knows addiction the way addiction can haunt you, can keep you in its grasp. I'm a man who knows that addiction is difficult to leave and difficult to say that I've left and say it in a believable way. Addiction is something that many people struggle with, like me, but many people who have struggled with it also know what it's like to leave it completely behind. And there are many who know what it's like to leave it completely behind, but don't reach back to those of us who still struggle or who still not be on a firm foundation of sobriety the way that they are. If those of you who have the strength to be the ones who know what it is to be the addict recovered, and you can be the ones who reach back to those of us who still need that extra bit that may take us over the line to join you on the other side with a stronger foundation to say recovery is our jam, recovery is our truth, and recovery is what we live every single day, then I'm someone to tell you that I challenge you to reach back to us and those like me, but also those who still struggle deeper in their addiction. Addiction is something that has so many different myriad of layers of different types and different people, and the way that it holds us is different as well. There's no addict that is unique in the way that addiction sullies their life and holds them in a slave of a life that isn't a free life for them to say, I'm an addict who can be the one who chooses his life, can be the one who says what he'll do, when he'll do it, and how he'll do it, and if he'll do it. He can't be an addict that promises, because promises are difficult or impossible to keep. When your addiction makes you a slave to what it is, you're a slave to the drug, you're a slave to the life, and you're a slave to the need that your high calls you to get for you and get for it. And the drug that you want is what gets you what you need. And when the drug is the master and the drug is what you don't want to be the master, then you're the one who can say to the addict who is the slave, I'm an addict that's recovered. If you're the addict recovered who wishes to reach back, who tries and can reach back, and be the one who humbles themselves not, but takes their recovery into a point where they can say, I am confident in my recovery that I can reach back to the active addict, and I can extend the hand, and I can extend my reach, and I can say, take my hand and look at me, and look at to where I am, and look at to where I've been, and look at to where I'm going. And you can take my hand, and I can help you cross that line to be the addict who is on the road to recovery, or the addict who is recovered but not sure of his recovery. Because there are many addicts who are always questioning whether or not they'll relapse, whether or not they'll fall back, whether or not that one time the craving is too strong, that they give in to the drug, the desire to get high, to the rush, to the feel, to the love of a hug, to the type of high that they love, to the memory of what it was to get high, whether it's a pipe or a needle, or whether it's a foil or whatever it might be. The romanticization of addiction is part of what is the draw. It isn't just the high. There is the ritual in making a shot in a needle. There's a ritual of pointing your direction in the direction of the plug, and the journey to there, the ride, can be the thing that's intoxicating. There are many things in addiction that can draw an addict back. If an addict like me is an addict who struggles with his own addiction, then I'm an addict who says that the addiction is what's more powerful than I can admit. Because if I'm an addict who recovers, but then who solves nothing, who sullies his own recovery by just being someone who falls back and relapses, willy-nilly not, but falls back and just loses his recovery by just relapsing even one time. If you're an addict like me who can go for a while but then relapses and then get clean quickly and stop using quickly, recover your life, recover your mind, recover your self-worth, recover your direction, then you're an addict who is unique, is not what I know for sure. Because there are not many addicts like me that I'm familiar with who can do such a thing. But I know many addicts who are the brink of recovery isn't true. I know many addicts who are in the depths of their addiction, in the depths of their affliction, in the depths of what they cannot see is with the potential for them to become the addicts who can give up and give the give their life the chance it can have by being the addict who leaves addiction, puts down the needle, puts down the pipe, puts down the foil, puts down the lighter, and steps forward into the light, steps forward into the better life that exists for everyone who gives up their addiction. There is no addict who cannot stand a chance, who has a chance for sure. Not can they stand a chance to live their life and to be a life that can leave addiction behind, can leave the drug addiction behind, can leave the pain, the suffering, the shame, the anger, the hate, and leave behind all of the risk that the lifestyle brings to you. If you're an addict like me, then you're an addict who doesn't have risk in his life because you've had the resources to be able to have an addiction life that doesn't require you to hustle, doesn't require you to go on the streets, to make moves, to come up. But if you're an addict who's on the streets and you have nothing, you've lost everything, then you're an addict that I can still become. And if you're an addict like that, then you're an addict who knows more about that life and who knows more about having to work hard to keep your addiction alive. Because when it takes a lot of work to have to come up with the money, a lot of stress to deal with on a daily basis, you have a level of degree of being able to suffer, but you also suffer far more than you need to. And if you're an addict like that, then I don't envy you, then I don't pity you, then I say, stop being the addict who causes more suffering. Be the addict that leaves that life. Be the addict that says, if you're an addict who recovered, if you're an addict who's there, if you're an addict who reaches back to me, then I take the time to humble myself and to reach to you, to listen, to know that there is someone that has something that I may benefit from listening to what they say. Because when pride is a big difficult thing to leave behind, even for an addict who's lost everything and has shame deeply in the part of who they are for what they haven't done, which is to live their life, but rather to live a life of lesser life. The shame of not having achieved what you dream or what you hope or what you know you're capable of is a shame that all addicts carry. But addicts also carry the shame for the things that they've done, the crimes or the sins that they've done, the wrongs that they've done to people, to family, the pain that they've caused to the world and the ones that they love. It's a shame that we all carry. It's a shame that we all hold, but it's a shame that we can let go. Because shame can hold us back, and shame can be the thing that the addict recovered, who is far beyond us, who has the foundation of recovery, who's certain in their sobriety, that can say, the shame you carry isn't the shame you need, because this is how I look at shame now. And every addict in that position can describe it in a different way. There is no one right way to describe how an addict who deals with no shame anymore or less shame because of their life being of the addict overcome having no addiction, affliction to be what they're the slave to. They're the ones who can say, my shame is like this if it exists at all. And another can say, my shame is different like this and if it exists at all. And another can say, I have no shame anymore because I put it to rest back here like this. Any addict in active addiction can hear those words and can learn from that and can take a step forward into a freer life. Because when addiction is something that imprisons you, it will cause your death. It will cause you to die because you will give up the trying that life gives you, and the choices you have are so limited that you don't believe that you can be someone who is free to choose. You don't believe in tomorrow because tomorrow doesn't exist until you get past today, until you get past getting high one more time, because when you're a dope addict that has an opiate addiction, the sick and the hurt of withdrawals is so powerful that you will do anything at a certain point when the sickness is too much to ignore, too much to bear. And if you're an addict that has an affliction to addiction like meth, and meth is a psychological hold that can carry a far greater degree of degradation to your soul than you might imagine too. There are two different types of drugs, and one I know, the other I don't. Meth I know, heroin and fentanyl I don't know. I don't know what the sickness is like, but I've seen the sickness. And the sickness is horrible to see and to witness, especially when there's someone that you care about, or even someone that you know, or a friend that you watch as they struggle through trying to be normal, but knowing that the drug is what's driving them at that moment. And they try not to ask you for money. They try not to ask you to get them well, but it's too much for them to bear. And eventually they do. And it's something that you know if you stay around with them long enough while they're sick that you're going to give in to saying yes if you have the money to give it to them or the means to get it. Because it's a horrible thing to watch someone suffer. And if someone suffers like that, the best thing to let them do is to not suffer is wrong. You let them suffer, you let them feel the pain, but you let them know that you're there in case they choose to do something or want to do something so extreme and so wrong, that when that moment comes, that something so extreme to do something wrong is a reality and you know about it, then you step in. Then you have to step in. Because to allow a friend to do something of a serious nature where it's a crime or something that hurts them severe and you're able to just get them well by buying them a $3 blue or just getting them something that makes them well, it isn't wrong to help them. It's wrong to let them do what's a greater crime of self-hurt to themselves by giving in to the addiction, by giving in to the drug, by feeding it, by doing the wrong that is far beyond what their normal moral compass may tell them is right to do. So if you're an addict like me, then you're an addict who's lucky. But if you're an addict on the street, you're an addict I can be. And if you're an addict on the street, then you're an addict that I don't wish to be. But I don't wish for you to stay an addict on the street like that. I would rather you be an addict who lifts himself and rises and seeks out help from those who are above us, who know more, who have gone further, and who stand atop of a greater knowledge of what it is that they can share. And many may not know that they have so much that they can share because there are many different opinions and many different perspectives on what it is to share right. Any addict who has recovered has something worth to say. And if I say those who have recovered and those who have sobriety, those who have long-term sobriety, those who have a strong foundation, if you don't feel the responsibility, then I challenge you to be responsible, to help your fellow addicts who only need a word or two, who only need a moment or two, where you may say something that changes their lives and redirects the way they look at something. We never know when what we say will change your life simply because it may be the missing piece that someone is missing and you're the person to bring it to them. An interaction, a word can change a person's life. This is why words are so powerful, why talking is so powerful, and why sharing is so powerful. To all the addicts out there, I wish you luck and I wish you a recovery and I wish you find help. And I seek it out still and I still struggle, but I still try and I still seek out a better life and I still believe in me and I still believe that my life is not a life of addiction. That part of me is essentially over, is what I believe. And from here on forward, I intend to be the addict recovered. Good luck to all of you.